Hey, this is Greg with RC Driver, and this is episode number 4 of our Get Into RC video series. Now, for this particular video, I had to go and back up the camera a little bit because, as you can see, I have a lot of different size vehicles here. And that's basically what today's topic is about. It's about scale. And we actually use scale in 2 different terms in RC, and I got to go over both of them with you. But for right now, let's start off with scale in reference to the size. Now, when we talk about scale in RC, we're basically talking about the size of the vehicle in comparison to its full-scale counterpart. So when someone says to you, I have a 10-scale truck, such as this Slash right here, this Slash is a 10-scale model of a real vehicle. So basically, I have a different selection of cars here. I'm just going to go over the different sizes so you get an idea of what different scales look like. So this over here is a 8th-scale monster truck. It's 1/8 the size of its full-scale counterpart. This is an 8th-scale truggy. Now, truggies are a bit of an oddity in the RC world. There really is no full-scale counterpart. So sometimes manufacturers use its generic or basic size to kind of put it into a classification. So this is an 8th-scale truggy. This over here, as I mentioned, is a 10-scale truck. So this is a 1/10 version of a full-scale race truck from Traxxas. And over here, this is actually a 24th scale vehicle from Tamiya. This is a heavy dump truck, so it's 1/24 the size of a real dump truck. And then this little guy over here from RC 4-wheel drive, this is an 18th scale. So this is an 18th scale of a real truck. And you're probably looking at this big guy back here. This is a 5th scale. So this is quite large. It's 1/5 the size of a real desert truck. And, you know, big trucks are very cool. Something to think about. So when you walk into the hobby shop and say, hey, I want the biggest truck I could find, you know, I want a 5th scale, now that you know the terminology, you really have to step back a minute and say, are you ready for something that large? Think about what you're going to use it for, okay? So if you're going to go out and run in your backyard and learn how to, you know, drive an RC car, a 10 scale size vehicle is probably your best bet. 10 scale is probably the most common size in RC. I would say maybe 8 scale is the next most common, and then it branches out from there. So think about what you're going to be able to use. Just, you know, be true to yourself and say, hey, you know, can I really wheel a 5th scale car such as this with a gasoline engine in it that weighs 35 pounds and goes over 35 miles an hour? Or, you know, should I start with something 10th scale and get used to RC? So that's just something to think about. Now I want to talk about the other 10th scale term that we use. I'm just going to clear off my table here. We also use the term scale to discuss the style of vehicle. So as you can see, this looks like a Jeep Cherokee. This is an Axial SCX 10.2, and it looks like a Jeep. Actually, I had one of these, so I'm really, you know, into this particular truck right here. But it has scale bumpers to it. It has scale wheels and tires, and they have the scale graphics of licensed manufacturers they work with. So it has a scale look to it. So when you walk into a hobby shop and they say, do you want a scale trail truck? They're asking you if you want a truck that looks realistic. Unlike, you know, a monster truck like this, it doesn't really look realistic. It kind of has the cues of a real car, but this is what we call scale, and it looks just like a real Jeep. So those are the 2 scale terms that you should know when you're walking into a hobby shop or looking online for your first RC vehicle. Scale is size and scale is style. So I hope that answers your questions about scale. Now, if you haven't done so, please hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more Get Into RC videos coming, and I don't want you to miss any of them because this series is going to help you to becoming an RC pro.